Hi everyone, I want to thank you for joining me today. My name is Kate Gray and I'm the Director of Corporate Engagement at MSI. Today I'm going to be sharing a little bit more detail about the MSI membership, what members have access to, specifics about our history, the benefits and the research priorities, and next steps for how to access all of this information. This will only be about 15 or 20 minutes, and I'll be covering a lot of content so I can follow up with the slides after the session, and in that email you can let me know if you have any questions. So I want to start with this slide of all of our member companies. You can see we have members from across industries like pharma and biotech, healthcare, CPG and technology, retail, financial services, and B2B. We have about 65 members from mostly Fortune 100 global companies, and they're members of MSI because they see the value in applying and having access to the best minds in academia, and also from their peers across industries. The Marketing Science Institute was founded in 1961. We were originally an offshoot of the Wharton Business School and later moved up to Cambridge, Massachusetts, where we're located today. And for the last 50 years, we've been a nonprofit dedicated to bridging the gap between business practice and academic marketing theory. We use this slide as just a fun way to show how far we've come since our founding in the early 60s. Our offices no longer look like this, but the executives from our member companies, like our founders, see the value in bridging the gap between their own industries and also tapping into what academics have to help solve their pressing issues and needs. So our goal is to bring together the practically minded marketing academics and thoughtful practitioners. These are the academics who want to learn and can contribute to industry, and then the practitioners who see value from learning outside of their own role. So here we have a sampling of our current academic trustees who act as leaders in all areas of marketing, from behavioral economics and social media measurement to big data and advanced methodologies and analytics. It's important to also point out that the academics that we work with are practically minded and really enthusiastic about helping managers with their research, providing frameworks, and really helping to solve your business challenge. So to share a little bit about our process, we're always listening to our members' challenges and issues, and we also vote formally every 2 years and create a formal set of research priorities. I'll share a little bit more about these later. But all of the research that we support and we fund and the content we produce and the events we put on are all based on input from practitioners and shared back to the academic community so they can focus their research. So the three main member benefits of being an MSI corporate sponsor are content, our expert network, and hands-on events. So for new and curated content, the most important thing to point out is the working paper series and the research that we fund typically appears through MSI 1 to 2 years before it reaches any of the major journals. This means you have early access to the latest research well before any non-members do. It gives you frameworks and managerial implications that you can start applying to your business today. All of the content that we have is available on our online library through msi.org, and all you need is your work email address to validate that you have full access. This is searchable by topic, so you just type in any marketing topic you're interested in. It will pull all relevant content from white papers to articles to conference presentations and webinars on the topic, and then there's no charge to download everything individually. And if you're interested in any of these topics but don't have time to dig through the website, you can also email us and we can curate that content for you. So the next member benefit is our expert network. The academics in our community, they devote their career to rigorous and relevant research. Academic research goes through a carefully vetted process, and we found that the research that we funded is cited nearly twice as often as the research that initially was not funded by MSI. And most of our members have connections to business schools, whether it is a relationship that your organization has with the school or your own alma mater, but look to MSI as to be the bridge to find the best and brightest to help solve your challenges. So I'm going to share a few examples. These are example questions that members have emailed us with, and you can think of us as a resource when you are spread too thin. So all you need to do is write when you have questions, and then we can figure out the best solutions for you. This might be sending you relevant content and frameworks that are already out there. So there are thousands of working papers and research that's already done, so we don't want you to reinvent the wheel, and we can send that along and save you the time. It might also mean connecting you with those academics who are experts in that area. They are always willing to have a 30-minute phone call, run your ideas by them, get their feedback, get maybe some additional resources or new research that they're working on. Or depending on the question, it might make sense to connect you to a non-competing company. So if it's more of a managerial issue, organizational questions, we can make a connection to you from someone else in our network on the member side. Sometimes the questions might make sense to pull together a scholar team. So for example, we had a member company who had a data set available that they knew there was more to it than they had time to address. So we pulled together 3 or 4 academics to come together, brought the company in with the data set, and they spent a day brainstorming possible research questions around it and what solutions they could find from the data. Then the academics went off and are working on that set now, and we'll share the results back with that company. We can also help propose collaborative research, connect you with academics to be an extra set of hands to work on a new problem that you're working on. It also might make sense to coordinate an MBA class project. So if you want to put a business challenge in front of a school, an MBA class, get their feedback, get their ideas, work on it for a semester, it's a great way to also recruit new talent. And then also we can suggest academic speakers and training. So if you have a lunch and learn series, webinars, interested someone bringing in someone for a training, we can send along some recommendations. Then the third member benefit are our hands-on events. So throughout the year, we'll have about 6 in-person conferences and workshops. These are open across the organization. They will typically be a mix of both academic presenters and attendees. We try to keep our events small, so about 100 or so people. And I will point out that we don't do any sort of sponsorship, so there's no sponsored booths or presentations. The topics are really based on input from members, and there's ample time for deeper discussion and networking. We definitely do some matchmaking ahead of the event because everyone is there to learn. To share a little bit about each of them, we have conferences, which are day-and-a-half events. These are topic-specific. We have one coming up in February on harnessing marketing analytics for business impact. This will be held at UCLA. It's a great chance to hear from both leading managers and also top academic experts. We also have workshops, which are one-day deep dives. We did one just about a month ago on learning to think like a disruptor with Peter Golder, who's an expert in design thinking and innovation from Dartmouth. And then we also have lunchtime webinars. These are about an hour. They'll feature new and exciting academic research or new projects members are working on. And just keep an eye on your inbox. If you aren't able to attend in person, you can also download the video portions after to watch and to send along to your team. So all of these benefits, whether it's the content or the events, relate back to the research priorities that I mentioned. So we currently have 5 for the next 2 years. Like I said, this is a 2-year process voted on by members and shared throughout the academic community to help them focus their research to help solve your pressing needs. These topics do continue over time. So, for example, the topic of innovation we've focused on for many years. So you'll be able to go back in the library and access all of the content on these topics before. So to share a little bit more about each, the first one is quantitative models to understand causality, levers, and influence in a complex world. So one of the quotes that we got from the process was, we need improvements to ROI modeling that more accurately identify and quantify impact from various digital efforts. So this is an important topic to members that we're funding research on, and we're hosting this conference at UCLA to try to address it. The second priority is on delivering integrated, real-time, relevant experiences and contexts. And what we've heard is pretty much every organization has some sort of path to purchase that they're trying to better leverage and understand. So how do you deliver the right experience but at the right time to the right people? So I'm sure you can imagine how this would apply to your own business and your customer experience journey. The next is making sense of changing decision processes. And there's been a lot of discussion both on our member side and in academia about trying to understand if this is a new decision process for consumers, or is the process changing but people have a plethora of information in this data-rich environment, and that's affecting the process. So this leads to the fourth priority, which is new data, new methods, and new skills. So our members want to know, how do you handle this? How do you organize for it? What are the traditional roles of market research? And how are the fields expanding? How are you incorporating data science, computer science? So we're trying to stay on the forefront of this by working with academics in different disciplines and also benchmarking across member companies. And this leads to the final priority, which is on innovation, design, and strategy in an age of disruption. So how do you apply design thinking? How does the Internet of Things affect every industry? What is the role of commercialization? We've hosted 2 workshops in the last few months on this, one on the Internet of Things and one on learning to think like a disruptor. So each priority, we are constantly funding research. We're doing conferences on each of them. There's webinars related to them. So after this, I will send through the deck, and it will have each research priority and a couple of links that you can click through in order to see examples from each of the priorities. So as for next steps on how to utilize all of this, you will want to sign up for free access using your work email address. Your work email address will confirm that you are a corporate sponsor, and then you can explore all the content and the resources. But I encourage you to reach out. If you have topics in mind, just send me an email and I can pass along any relevant content. And then identifying the right people. If you want to pass along any links or any articles or videos, those folks can access the resources as well. The companies who make the most of the membership include a review of activities during their monthly meetings. They'll use it as a form of recognition, marketing, training, and development. If you're pulling together any trainings, feel free to reach out and we can pass along content for you. And then when you send people to events, the presentations are posted after the event along with key takeaway slides. So many companies will send 1 to 2 people and then come back and present to the rest of the organization. So all of our members tell us it's vital to keep up with all of the changes in marketing today. And everyone is strapped for time and talent and budgets. And now more than ever, you need resources like this. We're the only research-based organization to bring together academics and marketing executives. We are really focused on next practice thinking, which makes us a time and cost-effective way to tap into the collective knowledge from academia and also industry wisdom to help you solve your difficult marketing challenges. So with that, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. I will pass along the slides that include much more content, and you can let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.